Again, we're back at the 2010 Broadband Minority Empowerment Summit. That's a lot to say.
It's a lot to say, but it's impactful.
I keep trying to say it with every interview. It's not getting any easier. Like the work is not getting any easier.
Yeah, I got that. I got that.
So you just finished your keynote?
I did, and it was good. I was happy to do it. You know, I don't consider myself a techie by any stretch of the imagination, but I think this issue of broadband, this issue of technology, period, is one that I hold dear, because I think in it, is the future of our children, and access to it is so vitally important. I mean, I was saying to the audience just now that if you want to know the capacity of our children and the fertileness of their minds, is that just look at what they can do with a telephone. I mean, they can do more with a telephone than I can do with a computer or any technology that I've ever been introduced to, because their minds are fertile. They're looking for something. They're trying to gravitate to it. And as this whole issue of digital divide, which is broader than just broadband, really has a lot to do with access and money. Because if you're going to charge households in South Central Los Angeles or Bed-Stuy or in Harlem and the projects in New Orleans, the same amount that you're going to charge private industry to access broadband, it's going to put our community at a serious disadvantage. And to the extent that our children, as well as the infrastructure, my son talks a lot about that. He said, it's not just the technology in and of itself. It's even if we had the access to the technology, the infrastructure is not in our community.
You made a good point about the ability that young people in particular have to using mobile devices to access the internet, but there's a distinction between broadband access and what you can do on a phone.
That's right.
When it comes to things like doing homework or research.
Absolutely.
Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Well, I
so
think
that people are real clear that.
Well, I think the point of their ability to access or use the mobile devices is limited. The broadband is, I mean, it has infinite possibilities. But what I'm saying is that they could use that, they could develop that in ways we probably can't even imagine.
I mean, you can, I can. I'm part of the young.
You're part of that deal, man. I got it.
I'm part of the young people.
As my sister says, stay in your lane. I stay in my lane. I'm in the old lane, okay. But no, and I think that's true though. But it's you are part of that generation.
Right.
But you also have access.
Right. So I've been asking people two questions. One is obviously an entrepreneur. Some of you may not know Danny Bakewell, senior founder as well, publisher of.
No, not the founder, but I am the publisher of the LA Sentinel, and we own a few radio stations throughout the country.
Okay. And so, on an individual basis, obviously here you spoke to the group. So the two questions are what you're doing specifically to affect positive change in this space, and what you feel individuals may be able to do.
Well, one of the things that I'm doing, I happen to also have the honor and distinction of being the chairman of the National Black Publishers Association, representing over 200 black newspapers throughout the country. It's called the NNPA, National Newspaper Publishers Association. And we have the ability to communicate with 19.8 million black people a week. That's what our circulation does. And we are going to be taking this message. One of the ways that I think my message in terms of how I view this sort of came to light, aside from people who actually know me, was I wrote an article in the paper. And it was in all of the black newspapers throughout the country, and it got a lot of stir, because my point was, broadband is important as a general statement, but it is critically important to us as black people, because our ability to understand it, our ability to impact how the FCC rules on it, our ability to advocate for anti-net neutrality, because if private industry is paying the same amount of money as the Uncle Bubba, and that family, it puts us at a disadvantage.
So
because
anti-neutrality?
Anti-neutrality basically means that they will not charge the same to every household
Right.
for the use of the service.
So with the FCC's broadband access plan coming down, is that one of the issues that?
That's right. And you say, how can we affect it?
Right.
I can affect it because we're going to be talking about it in all the newspapers.
So getting the voice out to 19
That's
million
number
people.
one. Number two, on a weekly basis. And number two, to encourage people not only to know about it, but to pick up the phone. To those who can tweet and Twitter and whatever you.
So now we're moving into what individuals can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I want you to speak directly.
And what you can do is you can call the FCC. You can email the FCC, you can text the FCC, you can Twitter and tweet and all those things, and talk about how important it is for broadband to be accessible to the households in the African American community. I mean, that's my lane, that's my message.
Staying in it. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
All right.
Well, thank you, sir. Hold on, look at
And
that.
support this man here anytime and anywhere you see him.
You're going to see me online real soon.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
I like
Yes,
that.
sir.
All right, brother.
Okay, good to see you.
Always.
All right.